Welcome to today's Explainer, Contemporary Art Collectors. We're diving into a genuinely fascinating and, yeah, sometimes polarizing figure in fine art landscape photography, Peter Lik. Whether you see his work as an absolute maximalist aesthetic marvel or a highly complex asset for your collection, there's just no denying his massive footprint in the industry. Today, we're going to unpack exactly how these striking visuals are created and, critically, how the economics of owning his work actually function in the real world. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll explore Lik's maximalist aesthetic, the power of the panorama, his analog and digital workflow, preserving authenticity, and finally, the market reality. Let's get right into it. But before we analyze his technique, let's take a quick look at how he evolved from an ambitious Australian photographer to an absolute powerhouse in the fine art market. Back in 1984, Lik traveled the US in an old van, and that's when he discovered the panoramic cameras that would totally define his career. Fast forward to 1989, he's shooting all 50 states, building up this massive portfolio. His commercial and artistic rise was cemented with a Professional Photographers of America Lifetime Achievement Award in 2010. And that led right up to the highly publicized and heavily debated private sale of his piece Phantom in 2014. Okay, moving to section 1, the maximalist aesthetic. So the crucial takeaway here is that his style is unapologetically maximalist. I mean, if you think of traditional landscape giants like Ansel Adams, who relied on a very subtle, restrained tonal system, Peter Lik literally goes in the exact opposite direction. He designs his pieces to pull you directly into nature's raw beauty using hyper-vibrant hues. We're talking fiery oranges and deep, rich blues. It's really all about delivering an immediate, massive emotional punch. Leica's own philosophy is all about this relentless pursuit of the perfect moment. He essentially treats nature as a collaborator, waiting for those fleeting, magical occurrences. A prime example? His famous canyon piece, Ghost. He patiently waited in an underground cave in Arizona's Antelope Canyon just for a single, specific shaft of sunlight to enter and illuminate a column of dust. It created this glowing, spectral figure. He expertly composes with light and shadow to create these highly dramatic spaces. On to section 2, Power of the Panorama. Now, this panoramic format matters immensely to collectors. By using specialized cameras, Lik captures wide vistas that closely mimic our natural human field of vision. When you blow these images up into massive physical prints, some of which reach 40 by 120 inches, it completely transforms a simple photograph into a monumental, room-defining installation. It honestly makes you feel like you're standing right there on the edge of the canyon or the shore of the ocean. Let's transition to section 3, bridging analog and digital. What's super interesting here is his hybrid workflow. He often relies on traditional analog film, specifically a Linhof 617 Technorama camera, to capture a really rich, deep dynamic range. But he also fully embraces modern digital technology, using Phase 1 and Nikon cameras and tweaking things in software like Lightroom. This digital enhancement is what allows him to push those boundaries of color and contrast, achieving that hyper-real vibrancy he's known for. Now, sure, purists sometimes critique this heavy post-processing, but it's undeniably the exact engine behind his signature aesthetic. And for you collectors out there, understanding this acrylic face-mounting process is absolutely vital. This specific 3-step method is exactly what gives his prints their famous seemingly backlit glow. And get this, it doesn't even use electricity. First, the image is printed on highly light-sensitive silver halide paper. Then, it's sandwiched super tightly under acrylic. So when the ambient light in your living room hits the acrylic, it bounces around inside, making those vibrant colors radiate outwards in 3 dimensions. It's a brilliant technique. Which brings us to section 4, preservation and authenticity. Because of those complex hybrid materials, like the chromogenic papers and the acrylic face mounting, preserving the long-term value of these pieces requires some meticulous environmental care. Direct UV light is a big no-no. It will cause those vibrant colors to fade, and temperature fluctuations can seriously damage the piece. On top of that, the acrylic surface is notoriously prone to scratching, so handle with extreme care. Beyond physical preservation, undeniable proof of authenticity is paramount. Rygix generally sells in limited editions of 995, so verifying your specific number and provenance is critical to maintaining the artwork's status as a financial asset. And finally, section 5, the market reality. Let's talk economics. This staggering figure, $6.5 million, represents the reported 2014 private sale of his black and white piece, Phantom. It generated massive global publicity, framing Leic as the creator of one of the most expensive photographs in history. However, we have to look at this objectively. This claim was met with intense skepticism in the broader art world. Because it was a private sale to an anonymous buyer, there is no public auction record to actually verify the transaction. That makes it a highly controversial benchmark for his market value. Just to put that into perspective, a color version of the very same image, called Ghost, sold at a verified public auction for just over $15,000. So you might be wondering, how are his prices determined day to day? Well, in his 13 official galleries, Leic controls the primary market through a very strict, tiered pricing structure. As an addition of 995 sells, the price automatically surges. When a piece is 95% sold out, it reaches premium status. That means a print that originally cost a few $1,000s might suddenly jump up to near $20,000. This artificially generated scarcity provides a huge psychological incentive for collectors to buy early, before the inventory drops and the price inevitably spikes. But as you can see here, a pretty stark disconnect exists between those inflated retail prices at his official galleries and the sobering reality of secondary market resales. If you try to sell a Leic print on the secondary market, say on eBay or at a public auction, it's very common to see them trading for significantly less than their current official gallery price. As a collector, it's absolutely crucial to be aware that the primary market gallery price just doesn't guarantee a matching resale value down the line. Remaining completely objective here, we can actually look to Leic's own candid admission regarding this immediate depreciation. He openly acknowledged to the New York Times that his work acts a lot like a luxury car. Once you drive it off the lot, or in this case, out of his controlled gallery ecosystem, it loses half its value. It's a sobering but totally necessary reality check for anyone viewing these pieces strictly as short-term financial investments rather than works of art. So we end on this provocative question. As a collector navigating this highly complex market, how do you personally weigh the aesthetic joy of a masterpiece against its reality as an investment asset? There is just no denying the immersive, glowing beauty of a Peter Lik panorama. It will absolutely command any room you put it in. But understanding the craft, the materials, and the strict mechanics of his market is essential for any savvy collector. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and enjoy the art on your walls.